This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes right here on Blog Talk Radio, where Irvin and I come to you live at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time all the way to the 6 o'clock hour. This is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. We welcome your calls, your comments, your questions, and if you'd like to give us a phone call, you can do so by reaching out to us at 347-857-3958. Again, the number here to talk to Irvin and me is at 347-857-3958. It's Friday.
Yes.
How you doing, Irv?
I'm doing wonderful, man. It's Friday.
Tell me all about it.
Man, I'm telling you what, I just want to put out to our listeners also, guys, if you're on the Android platform, don't forget to go out to the Google Play Store, search for Small Business Today Radio. Make sure you find our free downloadable app. And guess what? You can take us with you everywhere you go on your mobile devices.
Yes, you can. And if you're online and you like listening to us from work, you can always jump on over to www.cruzandhughes.com, and you can actually see what Irvin and I do right here in the studio each and every day just for your listening pleasure. Again, our web address is Cruz, C-R-U-I-S-E, Cruz and Hughes, HUGHES.com.
Well, I'm having a great time, man. It's Friday. I had a great week. Great time out with you last night, partner.
We had a great time last night.
My
we had
gosh.
the Small Business Today magazine and the Main Street Chamber 1 year anniversary party.
And let me tell you what, it was absolutely stellar, John.
I mean, let's drop some names. I mean, we had at least 200 people there.
Oh, you know what? We had our good friend Sue Burnett was there.
Sue Burnett was there.
We had Kathy Edwards there.
Kathy Edwards was there.
I mean,
Farouk Shami.
Farouk Shami was there
with Chi Hair Care.
That's exactly right. I mean, you know, and then of course, Kathy there with West Park Communications.
Mm-hmm.
And had a great chat with her and talking about her business and the success she's having.
We had
right
Kim
now.
Roxy there with Lameek.
Kim Roxy and Lameek. How cool was that?
You know, and if you're listening and you happen to have attended the party, we want to say thank you, a most
Absolutely.
gracious thank you to all of you who've been supporting us for the last year. And I mean, people just came out in numbers.
And they kept coming, John.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, we got to thank Hank Moore.
Yeah, and we got to thank
Grant Sadler.
Grant Sadler at GMS Dental.
GMS Dental. I mean,
oh my goodness.
So many names, so many good people.
I know it.
Really, Craig Klein with Sales Nexus.
Craig Klein with Sales Nexus, who we promote every day, Craig.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So, I mean, the support has been great. We love doing what we do.
Absolutely.
There's a great need for it, and we want to keep bringing it to the public.
Well, obviously, it's a need for it, John, because I'm going to tell you what, last night was very humbling for me. Because as the crowd, as we started, it was one number and we had enough seats.
Yeah.
And then people just kept pouring in.
Right.
And great job at the event center because, somebody flagged them that maybe we're going to need some more
That's
chairs.
right. We were at the Bayou Event Center.
That's right.
And Craig, who runs that place, I mean, he did a wonderful job. He kept bringing chairs out so that everyone could get a seat and listen to the show and listen to Hank speak. So it was a great time.
It was really, really a great time, and I don't want to leave out my good friend Dirk Cummins.
No, we'd be remiss if we did.
Dirk Cummins and Steve Levine. Let me tell you what, these two guys, folks, if you don't know who these guys are, now those of you who came out to our event last night, you know who these guys are. But for those of you who are around the country, if you hadn't had a chance to go online, read up and study up on the backgrounds of these two gentlemen, do yourself a favor, go out and do that. Steve Levine at Small Business Today magazine and Dirk Cummins at the Main Street Chamber. I'm absolutely thrilled to know both of these gentlemen. I've been honored by their mentorship and friendship, and I know you will too. So do what you can. Go out, do the Google search and find those names.
That's exactly right. Now, and if you're watching us at Cruz and Hughes, you'll notice that today I'm tieless.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Well, it's Friday.
You stayed out too late?
No.
This is your casual Friday.
Yeah, this is casual Friday for me.
Oh my goodness!
But then Irvin strolls in with a necktie.
Oh well, that never happens. So you know what? Get a good picture, folks, because this will not be happening often.
So either you were meeting with clients today,
yes,
or you were teaching students for the first time,
yeah,
or a combination of both.
Well, you know what? I did both. I had a seminar this morning.
Okay.
Talking about government contracting.
How did it go?
It went great. Absolutely. In fact, somebody just came in right before we came on the air talking about they didn't get a chance to make it, but their spouse did.
Yes.
And
yes.
Boy.
And she left with her hair on fire.
Well, that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, and it's because of you. I mean, you struck the match, and
we had a good time.
And she's ready. She's raring to go. She's ready to get her business started and start selling some stuff to the government.
Well, absolutely, and I hope everybody wants to sell some stuff to the government because guess what, John? They are buying stuff.
Yes, they are.
Always buying stuff. They don't
in
make
a good economy or a bad economy.
It does not matter. They are going to continue to buy stuff, and that's really the thing. And so I came right out of that, and then had to go into my daily meetings, my regular meetings, and so I've never stopped since this morning. So.
Well, I'm glad that you made it here. I know you've had an action-packed day.
I have had an action-packed day, but it's been a great day. It's just like most of my days.
Yeah.
Most of my days are great days.
I thought we'd talk about some of the things that successful people do.
Ooh, favorite subject.
Oh yeah, 8 things. And there are more than 8.
Sure.
But we've just sort of quantified 8. We're going to identify 8 today. And focus on, because as I thought about the room last night,
right?
I mean, the room was full of successful entrepreneurs,
right?
And I got to thinking about how many of them are doing the right things. Not saying that they do that, not that they're perfect,
sure,
but
absolutely
they do the right things often,
right,
and consistently
right,
enough that the law of averages leans towards success.
They stack the deck in their favor.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you something, man. First thing this morning, I get an email from somebody who it was their very first time ever coming in contact with Small Business Today magazine or the Main Street Chamber. And they came to the event. And the email that I got this morning from them simply said this: how exciting it was for them to go to an event, a business event, a networking event, as it were, and actually meet with business owners with that level of success, and the ones who are coming into those levels of success where everybody in the room actually has something positive going on in their business.
Oh yeah.
To me, that was worth everything that we do.
That's right. That's right. I mean, and when you looked around the room, there was an obvious amount of success there, and that's why we even made the comment. Irvin and I emceed the event.
That's right.
And we told everyone, look, I mean, in this very room, whatever you may be lacking in your business, believe me, it's in here tonight.
It's in here right now.
So as soon as we got off stage, we encouraged everyone to get their business cards out and go out and meet some people and do their best to establish a relationship.
Absolutely. And you know what? Our good friend Bertrand McHenry, Bertrand McHenry was there last night. And, Bertrand, if you guys listen to the show or if you watch us on cruiseandhughes.com, Bertrand comes in regularly and joins us here on the show.
Right.
And Bertrand McHenry is with the Referral Institute of Houston. And I was talking with him and just watching his excitement and enthusiasm about people in business, networking, working together, and learning how to generate referrals. And if you don't know about Bertrand McHenry, folks, go out to the ReferralInstituteOfHouston.com. Click on that and read the information about how you can go about monetizing your personal network. Oftentimes people say, well, I've always done that. I already know how to network. Listen, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Because if you don't know how much money, cash, is in your network, then you don't know how to do it.
And, and that's really a good point. How to monetize. I mean, that sounds like a good show topic, and we should perhaps even think about bringing Bertrand on to talk about that.
Yeah, we ought to do that.
That's the bottom line.
No doubt.
I said last evening that I am the culmination of my network. of my associations.
No doubt about
it. And if you don't know how to, and it's not a bad thing. Some people think that means that I somehow have to exploit or use
Doesn't mean that.
my network for my gain.
Doesn't mean that.
And why not think of it as in terms of how much do I need to serve my network to get the return that I demand and expect from that network?
And the key word there is that you demand and expect. And the reason why you can do that is because you've given first.
That's right.
That's the point.
Service.
You serve first. And you know what, folks? The returns just come.
Yeah.
And it's a philosophy that we teach, that we stand on here on the show, and I know everything you and I do for sure. And it was just really, really exciting to see the turnout last night.
Yeah. I mean, I had a great time. It was very humbling, especially all the accolades that you and I were given. I mean, we didn't deserve all of
No,
we didn't deserve it.
No, you did. But
oh, come on, man. The people were very gracious. We had a wonderful time, and we look forward to seeing you guys at our second-year anniversary.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about 8 things that successful people do. We hope that you have a pen and pad out, and if not, we hope that you're at least listening intently. And if you ever want to hear any portion of this and rebroadcast, you can always go to cruiseandhughes.com, click on the Blog Talk radio link, and go there, and you'll find today's episode as soon as we wrap up this afternoon. Guys, you're listening to Cruz and Hughes, which comes to you live at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. It is the magazine that is for and about Houston's entrepreneurs. We have articles in there that focus on tools, tips, and strategies that you can use real time every day to build your small business into the behemoth that you've always dreamed of. And more in a moment from John Cruz and Irv Hughes. We'll be right back after these messages.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? And my answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. For those of you who are watching us on Cruz and Hughes, I apologize. I just ate like a whole bunch of grapes on camera. But, man, I am just kind of dehydrated and starving. Yeah, now I feel like I got a little jolt of energy. So I'm ready to do this.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm thrilled that you feel that way while we're on the air talking to everybody in the world.
I'm ready to do this. We're talking about 8 things that successful people do. These are some things that you might do well to focus on in your business. And I want to start with the first one, and that is make materialism irrelevant.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we all like nice things, Irv.
Of course.
However, when you are dedicated to a small business, which means that especially if you have employees, that you are dedicated to those families of those employees.
Sure.
And although we want to have the Mercedes-Benz, we want to have the Botany 5 or the Brooks Brothers suits or Ralph Lauren suits, sometimes as an entrepreneur, you have to make materialism irrelevant in the sense that you deny yourself those splurges until your business has gotten to a point to where it can not only support and sustain itself, but you have a little war chest of cash sitting there that you can depend on in times when the market isn't so great.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because years ago, one of my first ventures was a distribution company. And I had set up these distribution centers in different places around the country. We didn't get that big. I mean, our footprint at that time was probably about 17 states. Okay. And it was interesting how people would chuckle at me because here I am, the owner of this company, and all of the people who were in my company actually lived better than I did.
Yeah.
But I wasn't worried about that. They had nicer cars. Some of them had nicer homes, not all of them. But I was paying them well.
Yeah.
And I intended to pay them
well. No doubt.
And you know what? I didn't worry about the business because the business ran great really up until we sold it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so my point is, I understand this better of what you mean by make materialism irrelevant because it wasn't relevant.
Yeah.
The success of the company. I say it all the time that, when you get materialism between you and the success that you decided to have, you forgot the mission.
Oh, yeah. And that's just it. You have to stay focused on what is important.
Right.
And it's really easy to get persuaded by people who don't know the inner workings of your business.
Right.
And even from the outside, let's say that I were a brother or a cousin.
Sure.
And I come to an event that you may be hosting, and all of a sudden I watch some of your employees pull up in these very nice, extravagant cars, and then all of a sudden my brother who runs the business comes up in this pickup truck.
That's right.
That's
right.
And then I started to wonder, hey man, I mean, you gonna let your employees show you up like this? And
where were you standing? I've lived that very moment. Where were you standing?
Speaking from the pages of your life.
Absolutely. I mean, my truck was a Mazda pickup truck.
Is that?
I literally pulled up. Now, don't get me wrong. It was an okay Mazda pickup truck as Mazdas go, but it was a Mazda pickup truck because in the distribution business, you got to carry stuff.
Yeah.
So I needed a Mazda pickup truck. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, it wasn't stuff falling off of it.
Right.
It was custom paint and mag wheels and all those.
It wasn't
nice
a BMW.
Things. But it wasn't a BMW that some of my folks had.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. I believe if you look at any successful, and a great testament to that is the guy, Mr. Buffett.
Yeah, Warren Buffett.
Still lives in the same house that he and his wife bought in the late 50s.
That's right.
And
that's right.
I think that your business should be what people notice about you first,
Right.
not the vehicle you pull up
Right.
in, not the clothing that you're wearing.
Right.
I mean, when you have employees
Right.
that are coveted by some of your highest and biggest competitors,
That's right.
That's something for an entrepreneur to be bragful and or boastful and braggadocious
doubt
about.
it. You know, I'm reminded of Sam Walton.
Oh yeah, great example.
Oh my goodness, Sam Walton of the great Walmart empire,
Right.
and Sam's Club and all those guys.
Right.
You know, I remember an interview one time. He pulls up on this is on television. He pulls up. This was years ago, and he has this pickup truck that he was driving. And the guy asked him, well, you know, you're a billionaire. You know, why are you driving this pickup truck? And I loved his answer, John. He said, well, it still works.
Perfect. Perfect response.
I mean, that was his response. And he looked at the interviewer and he's going, well, it still works.
Yeah. I guess, and you would expect him, the person who runs this entity is probably going to be in a chauffeur-driven something or another,
course.
something I can't even pronounce.
That's right.
You know, he pulls up and a wow, what's that?
Yeah.
You know.
That's exactly right.
But I believe that is something. The first thing that successful people do is they make materialism irrelevant.
Right.
It doesn't matter how good you look specifically; it's how good your business looks. And believe me, I have never sat in front of a banker that was so impressed with how I looked and how I was dressed that they decided to give me the loan, devoid of looking at my financials.
I can tell you right now, as a former banker, that never happens.
Especially not in any branch you ever been in.
Especially not a branch I was in. That never, ever happened.
Well, that brings us up to the next one.
Yeah, and that's, you know what, enhancing your knowledge. You know, folks, successful people are constantly on the prowl for new knowledge. Always on the prowl. And let me tell you what, their antenna is always up,
Right.
looking for knowledge from anyone.
Right.
In any place.
That's a good point. Knowledge from anyone.
From anyone.
It doesn't have to necessarily be someone who's at the higher rungs
No.
of the organization or
No.
someone who's in the C-suite.
No.
You know, I think great business leaders are those who are very familiar with the people who are on the floor of the business.
My brother actually worked for a very, very large company up north in Boston that produces a lot of great audio equipment.
Okay.
And the owner of the company, or I should say the CEO of the company, would take a meeting with anyone in any position, from the janitor all the way up to the executive management, and listen to ideas
Absolutely.
from those people about how they could improve the company.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what I was getting at. You know, I years ago, I was employed when I was much younger.
Okay.
And I worked for a big computer company.
All right.
I won't say their name, but their initials is HP. And it was interesting how during that time they were very creative about making sure that everyone in the company was in on the sales process. Now, one of the biggest accounts that we ever got actually came from a janitor on the shop floor.
Wow.
Who was talking to his barber, the story goes, talking to his barber about why these computers cost more than others. And he said, well, I'm on the shop floor with those people who make the boards every day. And I can tell you one of the things is that they will trash a board that doesn't meet the spec. They don't try to fix it. It's trashed. They won't release it. You will never see it.
So quality is job one.
Quality was job one. Well, the barber, unbeknownst to the guy on the shop floor, had a son who was in the Navy up in Seattle, who was responsible for IT.
And purchasing equipment. Wow.
And so the conversation goes on, fast forward, but anyway, the net result of that conversation, and here's the point. Here's somebody who sweeps the shop floor.
Yeah.
Having a conversation about the quality of the product.
Not a technician.
Not a technician. Not a technician. Not a salesperson. Not a consultant like I was.
But he's in on the sales process.
But he's in on the sales process.
That's amazing.
That's
now, how could you do that? How could you mimic that in your own business?
Exactly.
I mean, and you have to have some sort of program in place that everyone in the organization knows. What we stand for.
Right.
So
everybody.
That janitor didn't, in my opinion, just didn't overhear this. There had to be some program in place.
There was a program and still is a program that employees would go through. And in fact, they got, I don't know what you'd call them, brownie points, stars, if you will, if you completed certain modules of this.
Well, you know what? And that's a good idea. Those are incentives that you could put out there, carrots that you could place to encourage your people to get not only more knowledgeful about what you do as an organization, to become so involved that they could hold a conversation with someone, even if you're not a technician or a specialist.
Exactly right. And that's exactly what happened in this case.
A lesson could be learned from that.
No doubt about it. So, enhance your knowledge.
The next one, number 3.
Number 3.
And we're talking about the 8 things that successful people do. The third thing that they do is they manage relationships and set proper expectations.
Ooh, that's a biggie, because I don't know how you manage a relationship without setting the proper expectations. And you know what? I'll go a step farther, John, and say set boundaries. You can have expectations all you want, but you also have to be able to set some boundaries.
You know what? When we come back from the break, I want you to sort of define that, put a skirt on it, give it some legs.
I will absolutely do that.
Yeah, because I think we need to dive a little deeper into those concepts.
Absolutely, let's drill down on that one. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by the Lexington Law Firm. When you need credit help, you can get a free consultation today by calling 888-744-7081. More in a moment with Cruz and Hughes right after these messages.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? And my answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Irvin and I are talking about 8 things successful people do. And when we left off, Irvin, you were talking about managing relationships.
Right.
Setting proper expectations.
And boundaries.
And you extended that to mean boundaries as well.
That's right.
Now, and when you say boundaries, I mean, let's, cue the people in on what exactly is a boundary.
You know what? First of all, certainly you're right to set expectations because that's the foundation for a good relationship to be built on.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have to set boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, folks, if you are a person in a leadership position in business and you're dealing with all kinds of people, customers and partners and suppliers and investors and everyone,
mm-hmm.
one of the things that you have to do is be ready to set boundaries. In other words, oftentimes when you start new relationships and you're managing that relationship, oftentimes people don't know where your boundaries are.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? It's important that you do and say where those boundaries might be. For example, I went into a new relationship with somebody.
Okay.
And one of the things that they were a bit taken aback by is I set a boundary on that relationship and said, look, you know what? If you're going to come and ask me for information on how to help you and I give it to you,
mm-hmm.
and then you discount it, ignore it, or go on some other tangent, don't come back and start asking me for more advice.
Right.
When you didn't do what I asked you to do in the first place.
Right.
So if you already discounted it, if you already had your mind made up about what you want to do, why are you burning up my time and resource asking me for help when you've already made up your mind what you're going to do?
Yeah, that's very true.
So I set a boundary there.
Right.
And sure enough, with boundaries though, and this is why a lot of people don't do it in managing a relationship, then there are no consequences that come when people cross the boundary.
That's right. And that's a good point. And if someone does cross that line, what are the consequences?
Now there's consequences. And one of the things is that, in my case, in this case I'm using as an example, I cease communications because there's no point in my mind, there's nothing else for us to talk about.
Right.
And
some people take that the wrong way even.
Well, sure.
But
my thing is that now if no action will be taken because somebody's crossed a boundary,
mm-hmm.
Then at what point will they come to respect the boundary?
Certainly.
Now they'll never respect the boundary, which means now the relationship is always going to be suspect.
That makes sense. That makes good sense. And, and even as we think about managing relationships, you know how I look at relationships, Irvin, as though when you meet someone,
sure.
Let's take you and I, for example. We've known each other for over a year, almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
And so you would think that we've known each other much longer.
That's right.
But a relationship, especially a new one, is like a bank account.
Right.
And if you haven't invested anything into it, you shouldn't show up looking to withdraw something from it.
That's exactly right.
Look at your relationships as such, and you cannot go wrong. And there are some people that I've met that I'm taken aback. Either one or two things happens, or one or two scenarios.
Right.
Number one, I don't know you at all.
Right.
And you come to me and ask me something that would be reserved for someone that I have a good relationship with. And or you're someone that I know in passing that I see at a networking event from time to time. But you haven't invested anything into our relationship beyond being cordial from across the room.
Right.
And you come and ask me for something that would be reserved for someone that I have a relationship with.
Absolutely.
And so the way that I play it
Right.
And I got a few good relationships out here in the world.
I would think so.
And so my thing is that I always like to make my deposits early and often.
Sure.
And then come back with hopes of making a withdrawal if it's needed.
That's right.
And to me, that's, as long as you use that as a rule of thumb, you should not go wrong. So my thing is that when you have a great relationship, it takes time. It takes communication.
Right.
It means you have to impart something into it. If you're the type of person that's reclusive, that likes to be alone, that doesn't want to be bothered, small business is going to be a bumpy road for you.
Man, that's going to be a tough flight.
Because when you need help, where are you going to go to get it?
That's exactly right. And John, let me add to that before we move on, and that's this. One of the keys, folks, to managing your relationships is to say, I'm sorry. Don't hesitate to apologize when you have made a mess of things.
Yeah. Now, that goes a long way.
That goes a long way, folks.
Because there are a lot of people out here who do not like to say, I'm sorry, and I'm one of them.
Well, I am too.
Yeah, I hate. And I know I'm not supposed to use that word. I hope my mother isn't listening.
Yeah, man, she's gonna bust you.
Yeah, you know, and but the thing is, I hate you. I hate apologizing.
No, but you see, but I understand what you mean by that, because what it is that when you apologize, it means that you fail to perform.
That's right. I've let you down.
That's exactly right. Now,
and
I understand what you
me.
mean.
Yeah.
I understand what you mean. Not from the standpoint that you hate apologizing because you're haughty about it.
Right.
It's because when I have to do that, I feel like, I didn't perform at a level where somebody could benefit, in which case I do take it personally.
Yeah.
But that's also why I'm quick to apologize.
Absolutely.
I'm very quick to apologize. If I've blown it, trust me, and luckily many of you don't have this personality, but when I've blown it, everyone knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone knows I've blown it. So it's no point in me trying to hide it or dress it up. I just have to come across and say, okay, I've blown it. I'm sorry.
And that's why I love sports, because anybody who's played any sport,
right.
Believe me, you have let the team down at some point. Think about it. When I was in kickball in second grade and they roll the ball perfectly to me and it's got the little baby bouncies, and then I kicked and missed.
Oh, that's painful.
Oh, and everybody's like, who picked this guy?
Yeah.
So if you know what that feels like, then you know what it's like when you're doing a business deal and you let the team down. That's the point that I'm making.
It sounded kind of like the Rockets Thunder game the other night.
Ooh.
That's all right. I probably should.
You know what? The Thunder's looking a little melancholy right now. I don't know. They on the ropes, baby.
They might have brought themselves a problem.
Hey, a good one.
That's right. That's exactly right. So number 4.
Go right ahead.
Hey, stay calm in the face of danger.
Now, that's a tough one.
Oh, boy.
That's a tough one. Because you think about it. What do you do in the face of danger? Have you ever thought about it? What do you do when a car swerves in front of you and you've been texting?
Oh.
Which I'm sure is illegal in most of your cities who are watching this. I mean, how do you respond? How do you respond when the deal doesn't go through that you really need to make payroll? And I think the difference between those people who are successful and those who aren't is that they stay calm.
Right.
They stay aware.
Right.
They stay thinking.
Right.
They stay creative.
Right.
They stay tuned in. They don't just run away, go home, close the doors, turn off the lights,
right.
and sit there in the dark hoping that something happens.
That's exactly right. Folks, fear causes paralysis. Don't let it get you. Stay calm.
Fear is, and I love the acronym, and I don't know who made it up, but fear stands for false emotions appearing real.
Yes.
Think about most of the time when you're afraid, you're picturing or imagining something that actually hasn't happened yet.
That's right. Imagining. That means you're making stuff up.
And how? Can I tell you a quick little story?
Sure.
Some friends and I went down to Jaco Beach, which is in Costa Rica,
Mm-hmm.
and there were about 10 guys. We all went down, did some fishing, did some zip lining and stuff like that.
Oh, how cool.
And one evening, we're hanging out. We're at the local bar, and we're all feeling pretty good. And we come back to the room, and why we decide to do this, I don't know. But if you haven't been to Costa Rica, believe me, the rooms and the beds, everything is really, really small. And so the elevator is like the size of a small hallway closet.
Oh, wow.
And 4 of us big guys decide to pile on the elevator. We think we're acting like kids. And we get on the elevator. Now, Hako is hot. It's hot and humid. I mean, it's Tarzan hot. Rainforest hot.
Tarzan.
We get on the elevator, and it does, not only does it not move, the doors don't open, and we're stuck in there for an hour.
Oh.
I mean, by the time they got us out there, we're all shirtless. We're oiled up, man, like Thanksgiving pigs.
Oh,
you know?
my God.
and sweating, and we had to get in our happy places really quickly.
Yeah, you do.
And it's those types of things, man, that your mind starts playing tricks on you. I'm thinking we're gonna die. I came all the way down here to die.
Yeah. Now I want to die in an elevator with people I don't want to be dead with. Jeez, Louis.
But you gotta stay calm. You gotta stay calm.
You absolutely have to stay calm, man. You can't let it grab you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, moving on. The next one, number 5.
Number 5, stick to it.
Stick to itness.
That means you've got Velcro in the palms of your hands.
You stay the course.
That's right.
We've all been sitting in a room when someone is in business for themselves, and we all know this guy who's done 8 or 9 different things over the last 5 years.
Right.
And you would think that there's success in everything. There's a way to really do well financially in just about every business venture that exists. You could sell pencils and make millions of dollars.
That's right.
But if you don't stick to it and stay with it, then you're not going to make money in anything. I don't care what your business is.
That's right. That's exactly right. And you know what else? Talking about stick to it, folks, there are things in life that is just going to derail you.
Yeah.
There are times that you're going to get hit and you're going to get knocked out of the ring, through the ropes, down onto the scorer's table, onto the floor, and roll under the front row. But that's not the end of the story.
Yeah.
Now you've got to figure out, how am I going to get back in the ring?
Right.
And listen, do that immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Don't wait to get back in the ring. Get back in the ring immediately.
Well, the longer you wait, the more you rationalize.
That's exactly right.
Not getting in the ring.
Next thing you know, you're trying to intellectualize, why am I in this fight anyway?
Right.
Yeah.
Let me just head on into the dressing room.
Yeah, let me just go into the
because
dressing
this
room.
thing's over.
It's over. I don't have another one of these in me. And if you don't want to take another lick like that, folks, you know what? Get back in the ring and start swinging harder than you did before.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly
I concur.
Right. Well, we're going to take a short break, folks. When we come back, we're going to talk about whether or not you're operating ethically. Ooh. Don't go away. You want to stay around for that. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by SalesNexus.com. SalesNexus offers the best in web-based customer relationship management systems. You can sign up today for a free trial copy of SalesNexus by visiting SalesNexus.com or call our good friends at 888-267-3589. Folks, don't go away. The education will continue right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? And my answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Urban and I are talking about the 8 things that successful people do. And just to recap, number 1, they make materialism irrelevant. Number 2, they enhance their knowledge always. If you're not learning or continuing to learn, you've just started your death. Number 3, they manage relationships, they manage expectations, and they set boundaries. Number 4, they stay calm in the face of danger. Believe me, if you stay in business long enough, you will face danger at some point. Danger of going out of business, danger of being sued for your business, danger of the IRS coming in and doing something not so nice to you in your business. It's going to happen at some point if you stay in business long enough, but you must stay calm. Number 5, we talked about stick-to-itness, meaning that when you start something, you have to finish it. Stay the course, chart a path, and stay on it. And then that brings us
to number 6, operate ethically.
Do you really have to tell people that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because there are some people who grow up in a way where they have situational ethics.
What does that mean?
Well, that means that, if somebody lost a $100 bill and they saw it happen, they can pick it up, put it in their pocket, and be okay with keeping it.
Let me tell you something. In today's time, you should be so afraid of doing that.
Yeah.
With the number of cameras that exist
exactly
everywhere.
Right.
That I just saw on a show, there was maybe a couple months ago, but it was a man who walked into a Walmart, dropped his wallet right at the front door, and a lady, her son, and some other lady come in. They pick it up. She immediately starts going through it, takes the cash out of it, gives some of the cash to her son, takes the cards, and starts charging stuff.
Wow.
The guy's still in the store.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, you've just been put on national news.
That's right.
Congratulations. So operate ethically. You never know who's watching.
That's
Your
right.
mother could be watching.
Yeah, and the point is, somebody is watching. So you know what? And maybe I should answer this question.
All right.
Who is watching? You.
That's right.
That's one person too many. You know what you did.
Yeah.
Right? Even if nobody else knows, you know what you did.
Yeah.
But the true definition of character is what you do when no one is watching.
That is very true. That is very true.
And so the problem is, you know what? Operate ethically.
And with the money made in the porn business, man, what does that say about character?
Oh, wow. Well, that's a whole nother can of worms. We have to reserve that for a different show, Mr. Cruz.
Number 6 was operate ethically. You would think in this day and age, like I said earlier, you don't have to tell people to do that, but you do. I mean, the news is chock full of business people who've taken advantage of their customers. I don't even want to say any names. It was one of these companies could possibly be a supporter of the Cruz and Hughes show
That's
one day.
exactly right.
But,
Be careful there.
But the thing is that we read those stories,
Sure.
and there's one thing to make mistakes. There's one thing to let people down, but it's something altogether different when you maliciously take advantage of your client or of a relationship.
Yeah, and and not only that, but when it's within your expertise to advise somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't use that expertise to advise them to the best of your ability, you're not operating ethically.
Yeah.
Up to and including, I'm not the right fit for you.
Yeah,
Sometimes you have to opt out,
that's right.
and you can't let your desire or need for money cause you to do business with somebody when it's really not in their best interest for you to do that.
I would agree.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Well, that brings us up to number 7.
Number 7, John. How about this one? I know I'll get you going on this one. Managing time.
The most valuable asset that any living being possesses is their time.
And you don't get any more.
No. If you squander it and you lose it, it's not like money. Money will be made, money will be lost,
Right.
money will be made again.
Right.
Time, once spent, is gone forever.
It's gone.
So your time is the most valuable asset, and your second most valuable asset is coming up next. But let's focus on time. How much time did you lose when you first started your business?
Oh my!
That
goodness.
looking back on,
Yeah.
you had to be thinking, what was I thinking?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Because one of the things we talk about, Irv, is doing things at the proper time.
Right.
Like fishing during the day, cutting bait at night.
Right.
So you use your business day to do those things
Right.
that are focused on revenue generation, and you do those things at night that help you focus on revenue generation during the day.
I decorated my office one time.
During the day.
Yeah, I did that.
The business day.
The business day, I came in at 8:30 a.m. to my office and I decorated it all day, and then I patted myself on the back for my ingenuity.
And then at the end of the month, when sales weren't where they were supposed to be,
Well, then I went and begged my landlord for an extension on the rent because I wasted an entire business day decorating my office, and I might add, to impress people that didn't like me
and that you didn't have as client.
and didn't have as clients. I mean,
We can go on and on.
I mean, there's more like that.
Yeah.
And the point is I want to just to make that folks, manage your time. Don't waste your time. When you're in business for yourself, you really don't have the luxury to mismanage your time because you only have two natural resources, and that's time and money. And if you mismanage either of them, you're going to have something called pain.
Oh, yeah.
And you're supposed to.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Now, it brings us to number 8.
Oh, boy.
And we said that there are your two most valuable assets, in my opinion, are your time, and then secondarily to that are people.
Absolutely.
So number 8 is that you must incorporate people. When you have a great idea, this is not the way things were 100 years ago.
Right.
After the Industrial Revolution, people became very important. When you have a great idea that you have to bring to market or that you intend to bring to market, you have to get qualified people on board. They have to get behind your vision.
Right.
And they all have to grab an oar and
Right.
row.
That's right.
And in the same direction.
That's right. In unison.
In unison.
That's right.
And so people are very important, and successful people incorporate people into their vision, into their dream. They know that they cannot do it in and of themselves or by themselves. You have to get people behind you.
You know what, John, let me ask you this, because you've been in business and you and I both have several, personal holdings in business and so on, different organizations. How much fun is it when you would see or meet someone who would fit nicely in your organization? You meet with them, and sure enough, you were right. That it not only is it a good fit, but you almost feel, I want to use the word blessed. You feel blessed.
Absolutely.
That you were able to meet that person, and it just works.
No. It's lovely.
It's lovely, man. That's music.
Yeah, and it makes you want to do more of that.
It makes you
find other qualified people.
Absolutely. Because I'm going to tell you what, folks, the business we're in, talking about incorporating people, and I know this is one of my partner John's favorite subjects is talking about people because he's a huge investor in people. And let me just tell you, look for those opportunities to connect with somebody to incorporate in your business so that you can advance your agenda and theirs. So you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by RingCentral.com. To get RingCentral's virtual PBX for your business, you can give them a call today at 888-716-5022. Folks, stay with us. We're in the home stretch. We'll be right back and more with Cruz and Hughes right after this.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee News. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for Coffee News. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's Coffee News.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? And my answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Urban and I have been talking about the 8 things that successful people do. We hope that these are things that you're going to incorporate into your business and find that level of success that we are all striving for.
I'm just happy, John, that we actually talked about today what successful people do, because oftentimes we can get caught in what people don't do.
Yeah.
And we got to be careful with that. You know, getting on here and telling you, well, here's 8 things that successful people don't do.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. But what's more important, I would believe, is what do they do?
Right.
And tell us that.
And what should I be focused on?
Exactly right.
You know, and that's absolutely correct. I think that we all know what we're not doing. But to a degree, we want to know those things that we should be more vigilant on. I think that gives us a clearer direction as to how we can define and guarantee or secure that success that we're all after.
No doubt about it. In my entire professional career, in my adult life, I was always the first person to know how bad I was stinking it up.
I'm amazed at the people who don't.
I'm stunned that people don't know that they're stinking up the joint.
They walk around as though, I mean, do you really think that you're doing well?
I mean, you have got to know that you were the first person to know that you were stinking up the joint.
Or that should know.
You ought to know. It's like going to the doctor and not knowing what you look like naked.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I do.
I'm sorry. I gave you a visual on that. Sorry about that.
Well, I am the one that brought up the porn business.
You did. So. I don't know. Maybe we can edit that or something.
Well, we've had a great week this week.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, it's time to bring it to a close. I'm John Cruz.
I'm Irv Hughes.
And this is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. So until next week, Irv and I ask that you do a few things for us. Number 1, you be smart. Number 2, you be successful. And number 3,
be in action.
And until next week, Irv and I bid you much success.
Take care.